Today we are with Mr. Morten Lundal. He is the CEO of DiGi.com, a company which is most dynamic in innovation. DiGi has in the past been the key driver of change in Malaysia's mobile sector. Its growth has been phenomenal, growing quarter on quarter. But the future challenges are difficult and different. There's going to be more competition. There's going to be the mobile number portability issue coming up. How is DiGi going to fare in this scenario? Let's talk to Mr. Morten Lundal to find out what's in store. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Lundal. With no 3G spectrum or WiMAX spectrum, how is DiGi going to work out your future spectrum requirements to grow this company?
It's no secret that DiGi would like to have more spectrum. We applied both for 3G and for WiMAX spectrum. We didn't get anything in those rounds, but spectrum is important for a mobile company, obviously. It isn't a necessity. I think most broadband will happen from the fixed network, and both WiMAX and 3G will fight for the remaining space to provide internet access. So we would like to compete for broadband and access to internet. You don't have to do it. So in that sense, we would rather have 3G spectrum than not have it, but we're also competitive without.
What are the trends in consumer spending? Is it going to be in voice or is it going to be in mobile TV?
Yeah. I think that mobile services is like a part of people's necessity now. People have need for shelter and food and then mobile services. So I think we are part of the primary need of many people's consumption pattern. And people get more salaries, they often spend more money on voice services. So I think that when it comes to the big services will become bigger. I think when it comes to the voice services and data, they'll become even bigger services for Malaysia and for our industry. When it comes to the more new services, it remains to be seen what's going to happen. But what we know today as the mobile industry, I think can still grow further in Malaysia.
So voice and SMS will remain to be the key driver, not even mobile TV?
No, they probably will remain as a pretty marginal add-on to the main revenue streams. You know, the voice and SMS is such a big revenue streams for our industry that anything else will have to be fairly big to be visible. The mobile TV and all of these new things will have to remain being small in proportion to the big volume drivers for a while longer.
Subscriber base is prepaid. Out there, every operator is going for postpaid. What plans are in place to increase your numbers in postpaid?
No, we have we don't really decide for the consumers, they decide themselves, and most Malaysians want to use prepaid. That's a trend in Asia in general, by the way. We would like them to also try our great postpaid services, but whether they use pre or post, it doesn't really matter. Those services are more or less identical anyway. It's a question of whether you want to pay your bill beforehand you use the service or afterwards through one monthly bill. And so we are addressing both the prepaid and postpaid need in Malaysia.
What would be the impact of the mobile number portability on DiGi? As analysts are saying, DiGi is going to benefit greatly.
I agree with them. I think that there is most people say that they would like to change operator if they could keep the numbers. And soon they can. By middle of next year, they can actually change operator and keep the numbers. That has been a big barrier to our market share growth, I think. We have grown well without it, but when MNP comes, people can choose operator and keep the number. And I think there is pretty much a built-up demand for becoming a DiGi customer in Malaysia among people who are not today. And they can do that next year and keeping the numbers. So we are looking forward to MNP. MNP will also keep the operators on their toes because it will mean that the powers goes into the consumer's hands or feet. They can walk away from an operator if they need to. So the barrier to change operators will go away more or less. And that's good news for consumers, and it's going to drive the industry to be even more competitive.
It's often said that getting new customers is easier than retaining them.
Yeah.
Now, what is your take on that? How are you going to retain the 6.1 million customers that
Yeah, good question. I think it's I think the answer is simple to say but hard to do, and we have to give them a great customer experience and no reason to leave. You know, if customers feel that attached to both the brand and Digi and they like the experiences, they would have no reason to leave. And we would rather give them a great experience than to give them a contract or a tie-in through some phone bundling or whatever. We would like to give them a great experience so they wouldn't leave us, and we hope to do that.
It's often said Digi is very innovative in the marketplace. It comes up with all sorts of pricing charts and plans. But the future, what do customers want? And competition has been a big thing in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Where do you see all that going?
Competition has been fierce in Malaysia, and that's good news. You know, it has driven prices down, driven innovation up, driven coverage up, driven quality up, and so on and so on. I think competition, both for the players, by the way, and for the consumers, has been only good news in Malaysia. And I think we should expect more of the same. The industry is fairly advanced in services and fairly focused on competition. So I think that the good old-fashioned market share game will drive even better services for most Malaysians.
Could you tell us, growing the market is very important, expansion of coverage is equally important. How much of money do you need over the next 2 years to grow the market that you already have?
You know, we are in a fortunate position to not need any money. We have an ongoing cash flow from operations that is more than sufficient to cover any imaginable investment plan. So on top of a very strong balance sheet, we have a very strong cash flow. So funding our investments is our least problem.
One big issue surrounding Digi is the selling of stake by major shareholder Telenor from 61% to 49%. Now, they have to do it by end of this year, but out there is fear that Digi is so well run now. Will it be the same in future with the Norwegians scaling down their stake?
Yeah, I think that first of all, Digi's performance is driven by Malaysians. We are a few people from Norway here, but there's a small handful. This company is driven by Malaysians in all its regards. When it comes to Telenor, whether they own 61 or 49% will not change anything of how Digi is run.
Going forward, there has been some analysts saying that your growth is going to be in the single-digit numbers.
Yeah.
Tell us.
And we have guided our investors saying that there's a lot of good news for the industry and for Digi going forward. There's many reasons why revenue should go up, much more than that. But we just gave last week a caution to our investors saying that you cannot expect our revenues to grow more than high single-digit growth next year because of competition. You know, the underlying growth is better than that. But we have to assume that in a year we have MNP and new entrants, that prices will fall further, and that revenue therefore will grow only with single-digit growth. What's going to happen remains to be seen. That's our prediction.
Not being in the broadband market, is that a setback for Digi?
No, I think it's a lost opportunity. We would have loved to use the Digi brand on behalf of Digi and the consumers to compete in the broadband space. And I think we could have changed the landscape very much, but without the spectrum we can't do it. But that's just a lost opportunity. It doesn't change our core business.
In a mobile number possibility scenario, why should I go for Digi?
It's going to be a great experience when you finally change BK. You know, it's just a quality service full of simplicity and surprises. And that's what we are doing. I think we are best in basics when it comes to providing what you need most, but we also focus on surprising you in ways that you might call innovative, and we hope to surprise you when MNP comes.
Thank you, Mr. Lundahl.
Thank you very much, too.
That was Mr. Morten Lundahl, the CEO of DiGi.com. This is PK Sidhu, The Star Malaysia.